Hey everyone, let's talk about something huge today. Have you ever really stopped to think about what the world would be like if absolutely everyone had enough food to eat? It sounds simple, but it's one of the biggest challenges we've ever faced. So in this explainer, we're going to dive into the global plan to make zero hunger a reality. Let's find out if we're actually getting there.
Just take a second and really picture that. A world where going to bed hungry just doesn't happen. Where every kid gets the good food they need to grow up strong. It sounds like a dream, doesn't it? Well, it's a dream that the entire world is actually trying to make come true.
So, how do you even begin to turn a dream that big into a reality? Well, it's not just wishful thinking. There's a real, official plan, and it's called Sustainable Development Goal 2, or, as we'll call it, SDG 2. So what is SDG 2? Well, SDG stands for Sustainable Development Goal, and Zero Hunger is basically the world's official to-do list for food. The goal is simple, but wow, it's huge. End hunger for every single person. Make sure everyone can always get good, healthy food, and do it all in a way that's good for our planet.
This whole thing kicked off back in 2015, and the deadline they set was 2030. Well, if you do the math, we are way past the halfway point now. That makes this the perfect time to stop and ask, how are we doing? Let's look at the Global Progress Report.
Let's break SDG 2 down a little. It really has three main jobs. First, just end hunger and malnutrition, period. Second, make sure everyone, everywhere, can get safe and healthy food all year round. And third, and this is so important, support farmers, especially small ones, to grow food in ways that protect the environment. See? It's all connected.
All right, so that's the plan. Now for the really big question. How's it going? Let's open up our global report card and see what the grades look like.
Okay, let's start with a number that's, well, it's pretty tough to hear. 673 million. To put that into perspective, that is almost double the entire population of the United States. That's how many people faced hunger this year. It's a huge reminder of the challenge we're up against.
But it's not all bad news. If you look closely here, we can see a little glimmer of hope. The percentage of people facing hunger actually dropped a little bit from last year. Now, it's a tiny step for sure, but it is a step in the right direction. It proves that progress is possible.
Now, let's talk about something called food insecurity. This is a bit different than just hunger. It's more about the worry. That feeling of not knowing if you'll have enough money for food next week, or maybe having to skip a meal so someone else in your family can eat. That's food insecurity. And get this, it affects a staggering 2.3 billion people.
This slide shows us something super important. It's not just about having enough food, it's about having the right food. And the results are kind of mixed. On the good side, we're seeing some great progress, like less child stunting. But on the other side, problems like adult obesity are actually going up. It tells us that even if people are getting enough calories, they aren't always getting the right nutrients. It's a really complex puzzle.
So why the mixed results on nutrition? Well, a huge part of the answer is right here. For 2.6 billion people, a truly healthy diet, one packed with fresh fruits and vegetables, is just too expensive. It's a massive hurdle that keeps a huge part of the world from getting good nutrition.
Okay, so we've seen that progress is happening, but it's slow. What's holding us back? What are the biggest roadblocks getting in our way? Let's take a look.
The sources point to three main roadblocks. First up, wars and conflict. They totally disrupt farming and food supplies. Second, climate change. It's causing more extreme weather like floods and droughts, which makes growing food so much harder. And third, food prices around the world are just high, making it really tough for families to afford even the basics.
And this next number? This is a serious wake-up call. If we just keep going the way we are right now, we are going to miss our 2030 target. Projections show that we could still have over 500 million people facing hunger. This is a huge sign that we need to speed things up, and we need to do it now.
I know. That last number can feel pretty discouraging. But listen, the story isn't over, not by a long shot. This last section is all about hope and the power that we all have. And yes, that includes you, to be part of the solution.
So how do we make change happen? Well, it happens on two levels. On one side, you have the really big stuff. Actions from governments, like creating better policies and supporting farmers. But on the other side, and this is just as important, are the little choices that you and I make every single day. They all add up.
So you might be thinking, okay, but what can I actually do? It's easier than you think. Here are 3 simple steps you can literally start today. First, just get curious about where your food comes from. Second, think about food waste. Did you know that around the world, we throw away about 1/3 of all the food we produce? Crazy, right? And third, when you can, support local farmers. Every little choice can help build a bigger change.
Ultimately, this is a global problem, and it needs a global solution. It's all about teamwork, innovation, and everyone sharing the same goal, a future where nobody gets left behind. If we work together, we can absolutely turn the tide on hunger.
And that brings us to the end. I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. Knowing everything we just talked about, what's one choice, even a small one, that you'll make today to help build a world with zero hunger? Thanks for hanging out and exploring this with me.